Deep Rock Galactic is a game about danger, darkness, and most importantly, dwarves. On a serious note though, in DRG we become a dwarf and we dig a hole. We can pick between 4 classes: Driller, who drills holes and loves team killing people with a C4, Engineer from Team Fortress 2, Gunner, who is basically the heavy weapons guy,
I am bulletproof!
and Scout, who is a cocaine-driven creature that can manipulate the laws of physics like a bunny hopper in CSGO. All these classes have their unique primaries and secondaries. For example, Driller has a vomit cannon that, well, no one else has. What makes these weapons interesting is overclocks. Sorry, misread that one. Overclocks. Overclocks are a core mechanic of DRG that makes the weapons better. For example, let's take Engineer's grenade launcher. Pretty boring if you think about it. You just press a button and a small explosion happens. But what if I told you that you can turn this thing into a nuke? Well, you can with a fat boy overclock, or use the grenade launcher to rocket jump. To be fair, now that I'd say it out loud, the first option seems cooler. But listen to this. What if I told you that you can turn a minigun into a mortar cannon? Or that Scout can have a shotgun from Doom launching himself hundreds of meters above the ground? Or that Driller can shoot snowballs? Yeah, that's pretty lame. The point is, all these weapons and their overclocks is what makes the class system unique. You don't just get a guy that can build sentries, you get a guy that can build sentries and launch a nuke on the back population. Now, that most of you grasp the concept of classes, you might ask, what do you do exactly in this game? Well, before I explain that, let me introduce you to... The Space Rig is the lobby of the game. Here you will pick missions and work as a dwarf. Space Rig is the best addition to the game. Instead of players staring at a blank screen waiting for the mission to get started, they can go get a beer and have fun with their friends. The beers have different effects applied to a player, whether it's a buff applied to the player during the mission or a Diddy Party roleplay.
No, ain't no party like a Diddy party.
It's there for you to try it out and have fun. Other than that, you can kick barrels and make mission control mad.
Stop it, now!
Huh?
Or you can play minigames with your friends. There's a lots of cool stuff for you to fuck around and find out, but let's get to the missions. Now, DRG is a co-op game, which means the game doesn't revolve around PvP unless you play as the Driller. So, cooperate with the dwarves and do not kill them, unless you have a C4 in your hand. Now that I said it, let me shortly explain to you what each mission type is about. In Mining Expedition we mine. We mine Morkite. Nothing else to it. Just mining Morkite. Egg Hunt lets us kidnap the children of the bugs for the management. The only problem is the parents of said children. But don't worry, it's nothing that a bullet can stop. In On-Site Refining, we build a roller coaster that will pump oil like true Americans while shooting the bugs. Salvage Operation is basically finding and repairing mini version of mules.
Kawaii.
In Point Extraction we find bluestone called Aquarks. Escort Duty is basically an escort mission in which we protect a drill to dig into a big bowl to collect a smaller bowl. In Elimination, we kill bugs. Bigger bugs. Industrial Sabotage lets us sabotage the elves. Honestly, fuck them pointy leaf lovers. And in the latest addition to the game called Deep Scan, we find 3 thingies, plug them in, dig a big hole like a dwarf using a drill while enemies try to rape us to collect, well, gems. Obviously there are also side objectives, but I won't get into them. What I will get into is the world of the game. The world in this game is pretty interactive. Apart from pinging enemies, you can ping stuff like mushrooms, and mission control reacts to that just like with the barrels.
Enough about the mushrooms! We all know it's a mushroom! We get it!
The game also has plenty of interesting biomes that have their own effects. For example, the frozen map has snow piles we can jump into to avoid the fall damage. Also, we can get frozen there if we don't watch over our steps. Azure World has flying creatures that we can use to glide. DRG's world is filled with fauna and flora everywhere. This game has a perfect world filled with interactions and attention to detail, but it might get you thinking, why are dwarves killing bugs? And most importantly, who the fuck is Coral? Well, unfortunately there's not much story told in the game, we just know the basics. Dwarfs work for a corporation called Rock Galactic. This corporation is probably using dwarves because of their known trait of being good at digging a hole, and good they are. Obviously our competitors are elves who enjoy beer without any alcohol and build technology inferior to the one that the dwarves produce. And who is Carl that is mentioned in the game so much? Probably a fallen dwarf that made No Dwarf Left Behind a thing. Genuinely there's not much about him, and his whole character is a mystery. And if after all I said you're not interested and don't wanna play the game, then well, too bad, I'm giving you a C4 treatment.